I tried getting on different types of schedules to just get on a good exercise regimen, a better nutrition regimen. I just could not do it. I literally tried for years. I had a hard time just with traveling because of my job. I travel quite a bit, so we eat out quite a bit. Even on the back end of the pandemic, we're still having to travel to different parts of the United States to be able to do my job. And it was hard just finding the right foods to eat. I could never do that in the past. It was hit or miss. And the fact that there was no consistency, my weight was normally like 194. I would drop to like 191. I'd get to like 189, and then it would just stop right there. And then it would just go right back up to 192, 193. And then I would lose motivation. Could just never get on the right nutrition type program. I could never really get on the right exercise regimen. It was tough for me because I knew I could lose some weight. Just the fact that I could never break that 180 barrier. It just would not happen. It would go down and then it would just like bounce right back up. And it just bugged me to no end because I knew I could lose the weight. I actually got to the point that I'm thinking, is it just my age? Why is it that I just can't do this? I just felt like I needed that outside intervention. But for whatever reason, it just bugged the heck out of me because I knew it could be done, but I didn't want to go to extreme measures to do it, to just constantly diet, because I knew if I just dieted, go down, it would just come right back up. So I needed a lifestyle change. Getting up in my middle 50s, I felt like if I didn't do something that was going to change that, the weight was just going to continue to come on as I continued to age. So to me, it felt like it was either do something that was going to provide for some long-term better fitness habits and better nutrition habits, or accept things the way they were. And just as you get older, your metabolism slows down. You tend to gain more weight. You tend to be less and less active. And that wasn't the path that I wanted to go on. Last year, this time, I actually had COVID, and it was pretty rough for me. It wasn't as rough for some others, but for me, it was a pretty rough road for about a month and a half. I felt like if I didn't do something on the fitness side to lose some weight, as tired as I was and as worn out as I was, I felt like with the pandemic, if I had to face that again, it would have maybe not as had a good of an outcome as it did with this. So in addition to all the other items, it could have put me at risk health-wise, significant risk health-wise. It was at first apprehensive just because I wasn't sure what the outcome was going to be. I've never done anything like this before. The first month for me, it was kind of slow. You kind of have to build that habit. Once I really felt like I was getting into a routine and then I could feel that I was able to do more of the workouts, then that just kind of built on itself. And then after about a month, when the weight started to come down, it was a good feeling. Alex was able to look at what I was doing, provide significant alternatives, and be able to still enjoy the meals when I would travel, be able to fit in different types of exercise regimens. The anytime, anywhere option worked really well. So working with him with all the challenge that I've had added a lot of discipline into what was a very undisciplined type of program in the past. He held me accountable every time we'd have our catch-up calls each week. He'd ask how it went, and if I was doing the right things, great. He tracked everything, so there was no way to cheat. So that was a good thing. He was friendly about it. He did ask permission. Hey, are you okay if I'm just straight up with you if there's something that you need to hear? Absolutely, because the program itself, it's not an inexpensive program. You get out of it what you put into it, but at the same time, it's worth it every dollar just based on the results. I never really had a full schedule of what I was going to do when I did go work out. And Alex gave me a schedule, a program, a list of types of exercises to do that I could do anywhere. I get out more. I enjoy the outdoors more. I do activities with my son and my daughter more. I go to the gym and have a good workout with my son now, where before I would go and he would do his workout and I would spectate through some of his workout. But when I'd push the limit, I'd walk away with a little bit of an injury or something like that, or I'd try to keep up. I couldn't stay as close, but now I do a much better job in keeping up with less effort and just enjoy the time with him. I could do as many pull-ups now as I could 15, 20 years ago. When I saw that the trajectory of this was just on that downward slope, and then it just continued to drop. Each week it dropped by about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. And then when I saw that it wasn't just an anomaly, and I just continued to work at it, and I saw that it got to 185 and 183, that's when I knew it was really starting to take hold. He was a great coach, honestly. He wouldn't say you're full of shit, but he would say something like, I don't buy it. Just straight up. So if he would ask about, and this is more the emotional side, we'd feel something out on how I felt about something, and I may sugarcoat it a little bit. And he would say, I just don't buy it. I don't think you really give me the whole story here. So I appreciated that level of accountability. He'd ask permission before doing that, like a good coach would. The biggest win for me is just knowing that I can continue with what I've achieved. It's not a short-term thing so far. It's not hard to maintain, and the biggest win is just what seems to be a long-term sustainment of this. A way to just make sure that I'm holding myself accountable so that if I start drifting back up to that 178, 179, that I can turn the tide on that pretty quick, and I have the tools in order to do that. Sustainment is the biggest win for me. How I approach life, and this is one of the things that came out with the program with Alex, is there were goals that I knew that I could achieve. But what I found is that I could actually achieve more than what I was thinking that I could. He knew that I could do more than what I was telling myself I could do. So I really started looking at the goals that I want to achieve and challenge myself. Can I do better? Because it's a matter of, am I going to be able to achieve this goal? And chances are, whatever goal that I'm setting, I've historically achieved, but holding myself to even higher standards, I could do more than what I probably think I could. That's one of the big takeaways for me. So from a work perspective, I look at the goals that I'm trying to achieve, and then I stretch myself. Can I do better than even what I'm thinking that I can do now? It's a great program. It's definitely well worth it. It's a well-rounded program from a nutrition, from a spiritual side, because you can look at that, or you do have those conversations as you go through this, as well as from physical fitness as well. So it's a really nice holistic way to look at the goals you want to achieve.